Hello and welcome to another Minecraft podcast by me, FoxyNoTail, here on the internet for your benefit. Oh man, I'm 9 podcasts in and I still can't come up with a decent intro for this. Basically, this is a podcast by me, FoxyNoTail, where I talk about all things Minecraft and a little bit about my life. But before we start, I have to say I'm very, very sorry that for pretty much the last entire month, I haven't got any podcasts out. And I've also been a little bit lacking on my standard content on my channel, but we get to that later. The reason I haven't put out many podcasts recently is pretty much because I'm lazy. Well, no, actually, I'm lying. It's not because I'm lazy. As I've been talking about in the last few podcasts and on my channel and in my Discord, I've been working my fingers to the bone recently. I've had a lot of work on. It's been going on a long, long time, and I'm very, very pleased to say that finally I've pretty much got to the end of it. So I'm no longer worrying about having to squeeze Minecraft in where I can and working away, because all of the work that I was doing, this big, big, big job in my real life profession, has finally come to an end. Pretty much. There'll be some like straggly tail end bits to clean up and finish off over the next few weeks, but I'm not going to be feeling the workload that I was feeling recently. Let's put it that way. Which in itself is a really good thing, because that's freeing me up to play more Minecraft and do more things and make nice podcasts and things like that. But on the other side of things, it's also a little bit worrying, because if my work is going quiet and drying up, it means I'm not going to be earning as much money. So I need to start really pushing my real life profession and seeing if I can get some more work in. Otherwise, I'm going to be becoming a very, very poor full-time YouTuber. Let's put it that way. The other thing I haven't been doing recently is live streaming, which I really, really wanted to keep up doing, and I do intend to get back to as soon as possible. Again, that's mainly to do with not having enough time to do it. And I know what you're thinking. You're thinking, but Foxy, you've been putting out loads of truly Bedrock videos. You must have had loads of time to record. Well, yes and no. I have had bits of time here and there to cobble stuff together. I have had access to a computer while I've been working away that I could work on truly Bedrock in the background. But none of the situations I've been in have been really lending themselves to sit down for a good couple of hours to record a decent podcast and, you know, put all the information together for it. Or at least live stream. I've not been in a situation where I've been able to put a couple of hours to one side and put it into a live stream. On most evenings after working away, or when you're working away, or after you've been on site all week, you come home and you're pretty tired. So doing a couple of hours live stream and putting on a happy face and being all upbeat and happy FoxyNoTail that I generally am in my videos is quite difficult to do for a prolonged period of time when you're really tired. Anyway, enough of that, enough talking about work and all that sort of thing. Instead, let's talk about my week. So obviously my week is a little bit more of my weeks. What have I been doing for the last month? Well, as I've just said in quite a lot of detail, I've been doing a lot of work. I've been working away. I've also been finding a little bit more time to get myself to the gym. One of my New Year's resolutions was to get more active and get more physically fit. I do a lot of sitting in front of computers in my job. I do a lot of sitting in front of computers for YouTube. So yeah, one of the things that I wanted to do was start getting my fitness up a little bit, because over this last year, it has suffered, let's put it that way. So yeah, that's one of the things I've been doing, and I am quite enjoying it, although, you know, when you first start back at the gym, I'm actually doing classes rather than just going to the gym. I don't like going to the gym. The gym for me is really boring. If you just go to the gym and you go, right, I've got this routine, I'm going to do some aerobic stuff, I'm going to do some weights, I just find it boring. It's just really, really boring. I know you can listen to music or you could listen to a podcast while you're doing it, but it's just boring. It's really boring. So I decided this year I was going to start joining some classes. Things like yoga, things like, there's one that is called Pure Abs, and it's really, really hard. But I've joined it, and it's quite good fun, and yeah, it nearly killed me. The first time I went there, I couldn't get out of bed for a week because my stomach muscles were just they were just so painful. But yeah, I'm actually really enjoying it. I've been back a couple of times since then, and I'm going to be going back again next week. And it is gradually getting easier, which is good. And I am starting to feel the benefit from it all as well. I am starting to feel more alert, more physically fit, more capable, and just less whingy and sort of miserable, less sort of aches and pains on a general day-to-day basis, which is nice. That's what I really wanted this for, that sort of level of base fitness rather than just being a complete lazy couch potato that I've become this last year. So working and doing a little bit of classes at the gym is one side of things, but what have I been doing in Minecraft? Well, as you all have probably noticed, I've not been doing any Java Edition videos. That has become stream only, but I haven't been streaming, which means nothing has come out. And my patrons and my Java players are not overly happy about that. By the sounds of things, I've had a couple of comments about the fact that I've given up on that. Now, I don't feel like I've given up on it. I have certainly lost quite a lot of interest in the Java Edition version, but again, we're going to go into a little bit more of that later on. Basically, Java Edition doesn't perform very well on my channel at all, and when you've got an underperforming series or videos on your channel, it drags everything else down as well. The YouTube algorithm basically says, oh, people aren't enjoying these videos, so therefore we're just going to not promote the channel as a whole. And this has recently happened to Eximavoid as well. He has started doing a Factorio Let's Play. Now, I was watching his live streams when he was doing that, believe it or not. Yes, I know, a few podcasts ago, I don't watch anyone's live streams. I hate watching live streams. They're so boring. But yeah, I actually watched his entire series, not while he was streaming it live, but back through his streams on Factorio, and it was a really good series. And he started doing it as a main series on his channel, and no one watched it. So he's contemplating taking it off his main channel because it's dragging down his views on Hermitcraft as well. I guess the similar thing will happen to me with Java Edition. Now, it's really interesting because since starting Truly Bedrock, my views have absolutely rocketed. My numbers have gone crazy. I was going from getting about 200 new subscribers a month to over 500 subscribers a month. I was going from getting about 1,500 views per 48 hours to over 5,000 views per 48 hours. It really, really has gone crazy starting that. But when you release one of my normal videos, like a Bedrock Realm video, it still gets hardly any views. It gets the sort of same level of views that it got before, which was good before. You know, I was over the moon with that number of views now before. But since seeing my Truly Bedrock views are almost triple that number per video, it puts things into perspective. And then Java Edition, that gets almost nothing. No one watches my Java Edition videos, and it kind of just... Not only obviously does it affect the channel, but it affects me. It affects me on an emotional level. If people aren't connecting with the episodes and the, you know, the effort I'm putting out, then I feel less like wanting to do it. So yeah, Java Edition has definitely taken a backseat on that. But Bedrock Edition, my Bedrock Survival Realm, I still really enjoy that realm. I still really like it. But the problem is, everybody wanted me to reset it. There's no point in resetting it now because we've got world generation changes coming in the next couple of updates of Bedrock Edition. So we're waiting for those to drop. Now, we expected those to drop in 1.9. 1.9's come out and there isn't any updates to world generation. So maybe they'll be there in 1.10. Maybe it'll be 1.11. It could well be April or May time by the time we end up resetting that realm, which makes it a little bit stale. We are getting new players joining. We've had a couple of new patrons just this week, actually, that are joining to play on it. But the actual realm itself, for me, is a little bit stale because I'm kind of running out of ideas. There's a lot of stuff I want to do in it still, but every time I load the computer up to play Minecraft and I think, right, I'm going to make a Bedrock Edition video, I immediately want to go on Truly Bedrock because I'm just having so much fun on there. But again, we're going to talk about that more later. I've gone on and waffled on a little bit on there about my week. So basically my week has been, or my last 4 weeks have been working, going to the gym and playing Truly Bedrock, and that's about it. Anyway, right, coming up on this podcast, we have the news. As usual, got the news. We're going to be talking about, obviously, Truly Bedrock 1.9 coming out and Foxy's in Java Edition. Then we've got a Q&A. We've actually got quite a few questions this podcast because they've been building up over the last few weeks. Then we're going to be discussing Truly Bedrock itself, how and why that came and what's going on with it and why it's working so well. And then we're going to be discussing, if we've got time, Foxy's in Minecraft. They've finally come to the Java Edition in the latest Snapshot, and I want to talk about it. So, first things first in the news, yes, Truly Bedrock finally started and it has exploded on my channel. Me and a bunch of other content creators on YouTube that make Bedrock Edition content have come together to collaborate to make a brand new survival multiplayer, and it is all based on some survival islands. The idea is that we have to basically build ships to get away from these islands and sail off to Season 1. However, because we have now been told that the Minecraft updates are going to be delayed, because a similar thing with this to my Bedrock realm, where we're going to wait until the world generation updates to start season 1. Yeah, we're now sort of actually getting really deeply involved with this season. We're all making farms and building bases and stuff like that. I think there's only one of us that's actually built a ship. So, yeah, that's not quite going as we planned, but it's actually going a lot better than we planned. It was supposed to be like a short, maybe 6 to 8 week series that we just got to know each other on and tested out basically tested the waters, checked what sort of chemistry we had together, see if it was going to be a goer, see if we could generate some hype. And it's just exploded. It's gone absolutely crazy. So in my head, although we're calling this season 0, it's definitely a season 1 for me, because I'm just enjoying it so much and I don't want it to end. The actual playing on a survival island and not having access to a mainland, it's a really interesting way of playing the game and I really like it. Now, it's not skyblock. It's not like you're on this little island in the sky. We have got other islands around us, and if we really wanted to, we could go off and sail to the main island. But I don't know if anyone actually has or not yet. I thought they had originally, because people suddenly started getting villagers, but then I realised that a lot of them were actually just converting zombie villages into villages and using it that way. So I don't actually think anyone's gone to the mainland yet, which is good. That means we're all playing by the sort of premise that we came along with, and we're all really enjoying it. It's really active. There's a lot going on. And yeah, it's just really interesting to see everybody's videos from that. In the next news, Minecraft Bedrock Edition 1.9 came out a couple of weeks ago. Was it last week or a couple of weeks ago? I can't remember. And that brought in stairs, slabs, and walls of different varieties, which was nice, and some flowers. And everything else in the update was hidden behind the experimental gameplay feature, which basically means we've kind of developed it, but it's not ready for public release yet. Now, considering they're obviously aware that there's lots of bugs in those things, which is why they're hiding behind the experimental gameplay feature, they still managed to let out a huge amount of bugs with this update. As usual, with every Bedrock Edition update, there are a handful of bugs that come with it, which is to be expected with sort of fast-paced game development. But one of the biggest bugs, which I think was a little bit of a boo-boo on their part, and I've even had one of the developers or one of the community people tweet me to say, oops, basically, we thought we'd got rid of that before it came out. It's actually an old bug, and it's to do with placing slabs, and basically you can't place slabs properly anymore. You can still place them, but instead of being able to place them properly, it's very difficult to explain on a podcast without showing you. You'll have to watch my video on it. Yeah, it just doesn't work as it should do, which is a little bit frustrating, but it's not the end of the world. You can work around it, and it's not a big, it's not a massive issue, let's put it that way. It's not like when we were falling from the sky and dying because the game couldn't remember where we'd last logged in. The worst thing is for them, I guess, the most embarrassing thing is that this update was so lacking in features that one of the main features was slabs, the introduction of these new slabs, which I think that's probably what most people are excited about for this particular update. And they've managed to break placing slabs. So they've gone, hey guys, look, we've got all these amazing slabs for you to play with. Oh, oops, we've broken how you play with them. Oh, really sorry. So I don't think there'll be a hot fix for that because it's not the end of the world. But I'm guessing in the next update, in 1.10, that will probably be fixed. Because they fixed it before. It's an old bug. I have no idea how it's got back in again. But anyway, yeah, that's the end of... That's not the worst thing in the world. The worst thing in the world is what, if you watch Silent Whispers videos, it will show you that they've completely broken the end dimension. So the end dimension not only doesn't load in properly, like it's got ridiculously slow chunk loading, but also the end portals around the, when you kill the dragon and you get the little end portals that take you out to the distant islands, I think they're called end portal gateways. They're pretty much completely broken. If you throw an ender pearl into one of those, you just end up inside the bedrock that surrounds it and you suffocate to death, which is not ideal. Sometimes you'll glitch through, sometimes you'll get stuck in between two different places, sometimes it'll completely crash up the game. It's ridiculous. I don't know how they've done that. There's nothing in the changelog to suggest they've even done anything in the end, yet the end's completely broken. So I think it's quite apparent that a lot goes on behind the scenes in these little updates that they don't actually put into the patch logs or in the changelogs. It would be really nice if they actually put out a proper changelog to show us, or at least explain to us, all of the things they've fiddled with or touched. Now, they don't have to go into a massive amount of detail, but if they just put, yes, we've done work on the end for something spawning, or if we've changed the way portals move you from island to island or something like that, at least we would know why these issues had come into the game rather than us just finding them and stumbling over them. So for the time being, I would try and avoid anything in the end other than just going to the main island and fighting the dragon. However, having said that, you may find when you get there that you've got 2 dragons, you might find that you've got 3, you might find that you've only got 1, but that dragon doesn't drop an egg. Yes, the dragon's broken as well, so the end is it's not a very, very good place to be on Bedrock Edition at the moment, but don't worry too much about that because they will fix it. It's not a game changer, it's not the end of the world, it's not like the old lag issues we used to have that put you off playing, it's just a little bit of an annoyance until it gets fixed. Anyway, that's that news. The other news is Foxy's in Java Edition. We've finally got Foxy's come out in the latest Snapshot, and they are very, very cute. They're a little bit derpy, but I do have a couple of big issues with them. Now, I'm not saying I dislike them. I think they're a great addition to the game, but I'm not 100% sure on the direction that Mojang's gone with them. I'm a little bit concerned, but we'll talk about that later on in this podcast. Now, before we go any further, I just want to say, if you'd like to get hold of me, if you'd like to talk to me, you can get me on Twitter at FoxyNoTail. My YouTube channel is youtube.com/FoxyNoTail, and I do have a website, which is FoxyNoTail.com. On there, you'll find all the details about all my goings-on and all my servers and playlists and things like that, and also how to join my realms and servers if that's something that you're interested in doing. It is for over 18s, and they are patron-supported. But yeah, if you're interested in joining in one of my servers, then please go to my website and find the details on there. Anyway, let's move on now to the Q&A. So the first question in the Q&A is from Extreme Gay DNA, which rhymes. It's like Valentine's Day all over again. We've got rhyming going on here. He put, "We all know you're doing the Truly Bedrock server with the other content creators, but how did it come to pass? Did they reach out to you, or you to them, or something else?" Okay, Extreme Game DNA, I'm going to talk about this. It could be a bit of a touchy subject for certain people, so I'm not going to go into massive amount of detail. But basically what happened was, a little while ago before Christmas, I was approached by a group of relatively small content creators, let's put it that way. Now, I'm not being offensive there. I consider myself a small-time YouTuber. I got, nearly 6,000 subscribers now. But in the scheme of things, that's not really very much, is it? I mean, there's plenty of channels around now with millions of subscribers or hundreds of thousands of subscribers. I still consider myself a small YouTuber. So basically a group of people with subscriber numbers in the hundreds, which is obviously smaller than mine, but still I would put us on the same level. They approached me about making a Bedrock Edition creators only Let's Play, which I thought was a really good idea. I've always wanted to join something like Hermitcraft. That's something that I would love to have been a part of. You know, my goal on YouTube is to get to a point where Hermitcraft ring me up and go, hey, FoxyNoTail, we think you'd be perfect for this server, come along. That would be my dream, if you like. I would absolutely love to do that. So I thought about this for some time, and I thought, well, you know, a group of people playing together are content creators. We could maybe make our own Bedrock version of Hermitcraft. So I thought, yeah, okay. And I'm not saying that what we're trying to do is emulate Hermitcraft here, but they, if you like, have set the bar for Minecraft Let's Plays on YouTube. And they're working on Java Edition, obviously. There's very little out there for Bedrock Edition. People have come along and they've tried to do big, like, collaboration Bedrock Edition Let's Plays, and not many people have lasted the test of time. So I thought, yeah, that was something I really wanted to get involved with. Now, it was sold to me that it was going to be a community-driven thing. We were all going to work together. There was no one boss. We were all going to discuss things. It was all going to be happy days. Everyone was going to get on together. It was really going to be really good. And the more I got involved with, like, the further it went down the line, the further it got into it, the more and more it turned out it was a bit of a dictatorship. There was no real room for, like, making any decisions. There was very much, this is how it's going to be. Yes, there's a little bit of flexibility on how we're going to do it, but it's my way or the highway, effectively. And there was one big issue that I really took an issue with, and that was that they were going to be using a free server, which you think, well, that's okay. Yeah, a lot of, you know, people do deals with server hosting companies in order to get a free server, and then they advertise that server on their channel, which is fine. You know, that's absolutely fine if people want to do that. I don't like advertising on my channel. Yes, occasionally I'll pop up in the screen on a card and say, hey, buy my merch, stuff like that. I put merch out because people ask me to. I don't actually make many sales on merch. I really don't care if you buy it or not. I get pretty much zero commission from any of my merch. It's there in case you want it. Now, I'm never going to sit there and push a product in your face and say, hey guys, you need to buy this product so that I can get something for free. I'm not going to take a free server and then make you guys have to suffer me advertising it so that I can get it for free. It's not fair. Why should I do that for you guys? The words I used when I was there is that my viewers are treasures to behold as opposed to, cows to be milked. I think that was the analogy I came up with. And it didn't sit well. So as it turned out, the whole server hosting thing wasn't just about getting a free server. It was also the fact that we were going to be getting commission for anybody of our viewers that signed up to use those servers from that server hosting company. The guy that was running that particular Let's Play, or the guy that was hosting it all for us, the guy that invited me along in the first place, he would get commission for it. And it became very much about him getting as many people onto this Let's Play as possible so that he could rack up as much commission as possible and make money off it, which I'm not going to be his cow, and I'm not going to let my viewers be his cow to milk so that he can, make money off everyone. That I thought we were there to play Minecraft together, but in the end it turned out it was a bit of a money-making scheme. So there was a group Discord for that particular server, and I basically said to everybody in that Discord, look, this isn't for me, this is not what I wanted, but if anybody does genuinely want to put a community-driven, fun Let's Play together for content creators, then yeah, follow me, because that's something I want to do. Yeah, so a group of us decided to go off and start doing our own thing, and we threw ideas around and we tried to invite people. We managed to get Groover Guy and Zloy XP and Silent Whisper on board, which was really good, and we started to build it from there. So it was kind of me that sparked the movement to move away from the original one, but it was a group of us together that created it all. So I won't take credit for actually creating truly Bedrock, but I suppose I was that initial fire. I was the initial spark that lit the fire, if you like, which I'm quite proud of, because so far it's going really well. Even if it doesn't last even through the end of Season 0, I'm really happy with what we've managed to achieve and what we've done together as a group. Question number 2 is from Riker, again asking on Discord, I know you play both Java and Bedrock versions of the game, but you seem to be more into the Bedrock version when it comes to making content. May I ask why you choose Bedrock over Java? Is it because Java is more saturated on YouTube? Good question, Riker. So I always used to just play Java Edition of Minecraft. I didn't like Bedrock Edition. I didn't like the Pocket Edition of the game. It didn't make sense. It didn't sit well with me. But more and more people started playing it, and there was less and less interest out there for Java. Absolutely, Java was saturated on YouTube. There was very little room for making Java Edition videos on there as a new content creator. So eventually, after getting bombarded in comments nearly every video for why don't you play on Bedrock Edition, I started up a Bedrock Edition Let's Play, and I actually really started to enjoy it. There were a lot of differences in Bedrock Edition and Java Edition back at that point, so it was like a new learning curve. It was like buying Minecraft new all over again, because it wasn't the same. There was new things to learn all over again. Mob spawning was different, the world generation was different, the fact there was no spawn chunks was different. There were so many differences. It was really, really interesting to me, and it still is. And playing it all that time now, there's 2 reasons I play Bedrock over Java. One is that's what people want to see from me. Like we said earlier, if I put Java Edition videos out, nobody watches. If I put Bedrock Edition videos out, I get a lot of viewers. So that's one reason I keep going back to Bedrock. The other reason is I just enjoy it more. Even though it's absolutely riddled with bugs, I just love it. I love the challenge of Bedrock Edition. I love the feel of the game. It just feels like a different game to Java Edition to me. And I also like the feeling that when I'm discovering something new or coming up with a new farm or a new mechanic, most of the time I'm the first one to have done it in that particular way. Whereas on Java Edition, everything's been done already. Everything's been done 1,000,001 times. Now, I'm not saying that I'm like a trendsetter or a leader in Bedrock Edition mechanics or technical stuff. I'm not saying that at all. But when I design a farm and I do it off my own head and I research how it works and I don't copy somebody else, then I'm pretty sure that most people haven't done it in that way before, which is nice. It's nice to have something that's relatively unique that works for you. So yeah, that's why I prefer Bedrock Edition over Java Edition. Third question is from Lucy and Death, who also asked on Discord, were you ever intimidated your first time making a Guardian farm? Well, I've never made one of the ones where you have to clear all the water out because I would never do that. That just seems way too boring for me. I couldn't be bothered to fill an entire Guardian farm up with sand in order to clear the water out, or however you do it these days. Fortunately, nowadays you don't need to do that, particularly on Bedrock Edition, because we've discovered that Guardians will only spawn in the 25 spawning spots. So the biggest grind for that farm is actually just digging a load of obsidian, which if you've got efficiency 5 and a haste 2 beacon really doesn't take very long at all. You just need to go find yourself a big lava pool, pour a bit of water on it and start digging, which is, yeah, it really doesn't take very long at all. Actually planning it out and spacing it out, you can do relatively quickly in creative mode, and then all you've got to do is go into the nether to make your little catching area where the Guardians are going to come through. So in terms of being intimidated, no, I don't think I was. It wasn't a particularly big build. It probably took maybe 4 or 5 hours altogether to put together, but considering in the olden days on Java Edition it would take you maybe 40 hours to clear out a Ocean Monument and then, get rid of all the sand and get rid of all the water and everything else and then build the farm, I think it's a much easier thing to do. The fourth question is from Shepherd Tamer, who says, why don't you have a tail? Now, Shepherd Tamer, I do have a video on this. It's all part of the FoxyNoTail lore. If you go back and look through my channel, you will see for my 100th episode of my original Java Survival Let's Play, you will see a video on there where I talk all about how I lost my tail. But I'm not going to go into details on there. You'll have to go back and watch it. And the last question is again from Lucy and Death, who says, Foxy, what is the best way to promote one's videos, excluding Discord? And that's an interesting question. There isn't really an easy way to promote your videos. If you're a YouTube video maker or content creator, yes, you can go spamming your video links on other people's Discords. A lot of Discords have shameless promotion things where you can go and stick your video links in there. It's a waste of time, really, because no one bothers to go through and look through those. The only people that actually see anything in there is the people spamming their links in. You can spam your links on Reddit and then you'll get kicked off Reddit, or you could take the time to grow your channel and be patient and generate a view in that way. It's very, very difficult to get your videos out there without developing an audience first. You can tweet about it, but if you've not got many followers, it's not going to hit many people. Yeah, you can talk about it on forums without directly linking about it and hope people will see it. You could, if it's relevant to somebody else or another big YouTuber or another big person, or like Mojang themselves, you could tweet it to somebody. If you've found something that's a brand new mechanic in the game that no one's discovered before, you can tweet it to somebody that works with those sorts of things and hope that they share it and credit you. There's lots of ways you can do things, but if you've just got a standard like Minecraft Let's Play, or if you're just making basic videos, then you're just going to have to be patient. There's no easy answer to that. The only other way you can do it is to use paid promotion, which is basically to pay Google to advertise your video. And I've done that before. I've done that on my Christmas special, the one where I made a feature-length movie special of the Star Wars parody that I did. I did promote that. I paid to promote that because I wanted people to see it. Again, that type of content from me, even though it is Bedrock related, people aren't expecting to see that on my channel, so I don't get many views for it. And I was so proud of what I'd done on there, I thought, right, well, I'm going to get this out to different people, see if I can generate a different kind of audience that is interested in that sort of material. So I paid for it, and I put it on advertising on YouTube for about 2 or 3 weeks over Christmas, and it did bring in a lot of views, but it was very expensive as well. So if you're a new YouTuber and you don't have a great deal of money to spare, then the only way you can really do it is to grow your channel naturally, which will happen if you're putting out good content. If you're putting out rubbish content, or if you're not putting a great deal of effort in, or if you don't have the means to put out good content, then you're going to struggle. Sadly, it's just one of those things. Anyway, that's enough of the Q&A. Let's now go on to talking about Truly Bedrock. Okay, so we've already talked in quite a lot of detail about Truly Bedrock and what it's about and what it's for, so there's not really a massive amount of stuff to go into here, except for sort of explaining more about what it is, why I'm enjoying it so much, why I'm making so many videos on it, and why it's doing so well. Well, let's get into the nitty-gritty of why it's performing well, I guess. So, first of all, we started it as a group of YouTubers, like relatively well-known ones as well. And again, we're all relatively small YouTubers. I think Silent Whisper's got the most viewers at the moment, or the most subscribers at the moment, with I think it's about 13,000, which is quite a lot compared to the rest of us. But in the scheme of things on YouTube, it's not very many at all. So I'm not putting him down or anything like that. I'm not saying he's, you know, a bad YouTuber. He's just, it's early days for all of us, really. And growth these days, as I've discussed before, growth on YouTube these days is hard. It's really hard. YouTube has changed a lot over the last few years. It's not easy to become a Minecraft YouTuber. So hats off to Silent for doing so well already. Anyway, yeah, so a group of us all joined together. We've all got a reasonable following behind us already, and we joined together to start a Let's Play, which was based on the Bedrock edition of Minecraft. There were 9 of us, and we started on some desert islands, which are miles away from anything else. The idea is we're doing a Season 0, which is basically an introduction into truly Bedrock. It's designed to get us used to playing together, seeing if we get on well with each other, seeing if it's actually going to go anywhere. Basically, we're not putting our hands up and saying, hey, we're going to start with a bang on Season 1 because we're just that confident it's going to work. This Season 0 is, if you like, it's a trial run before we get cracking on the first season. It's also convenient because we're waiting for the Minecraft update to drop, where we actually get the world generation changes. So things like village and pillage, we want to make sure that in Season 1 we're going to get the new villages and the villager outposts and things like that. And we also want to make sure that we're getting the bamboo forest and things like that. There's no point in starting a brand new world and then a couple of weeks into it, the game completely changes and you're going to miss out on all those features. So yeah, we're waiting for that and we're getting to know each other. And we started off in episode 1. We all were in a big collaboration together. I basically came up with an idea that was for us all to play together. Rather than us all go off on our own different directions and start gathering wood and chopping trees and all that sort of thing. We've all seen that a million times before. We've all seen every single Let's Player in the world starting from scratch and doing nothing. And if you've got 9 separate people all doing exactly the same thing but in a different area, all joined together in a voice chat so they're all talking to each other, it's going to be very difficult for viewers that are watching one point of view to understand what somebody else in a different point of view is talking about. So I thought it would be a really good idea, rather than for us all to just disappear off and do our own thing whilst chatting to each other, if we actually made it into a bit of a game. So I set a group of challenges where we had to get wood and iron and coal and stuff like that. And we had winners and losers, and then we had PvP involved as well. And it was really good fun. Now, a few of the players were a little bit skeptical before we started that it was going to be a bit silly and it didn't really suit their styles. But I've had good feedback from everyone since then that they really enjoyed doing it. And it really helped push basically episode 1 out there. And it did. So we started building a little bit of hype before we started the season. We made our own Discord channel for it, which the link for that will be in the description of this video if you want to join along to that and see what's going on. We started putting things out there on Twitter and building up a little bit of a community before we even started recording. And then when we started recording, we hit the ground running and we did really, really well. Now, considering my normal videos, like my Bedrock Edition Realm videos, get maybe around about 500 views if I'm lucky. My first truly Bedrock video, it was the first one to go out, it got over 2,000 views, which is amazing for a Let's Play of my channel size. I was so over the moon with that. It's absolutely fantastic. And normally on YouTube, when you put out a second video of a new series, it will do half as well as the first, and the third one will do half as well as that again, and it will then level off and you'll get about a quarter of the views on your normal videos from what you got on the first one. The second video did go out and it didn't have as many views as the first one, but it was still about 1,600 or something. And then the one after that was 1,200, and it sort of leveled off at around about 1,000 views per video. At the time of recording this, I've actually put out 7 truly Bedrock videos and they've all had over 1,000 views, which is double what any of my other videos normally get. Unless I do something like a tutorial, which gets a lot of views naturally because a lot of people are searching for it, I very rarely get any videos with over 1,000 views at all. So I'm over the moon with that, and it's lasting as well. It's not like it's dying off, which is good. One of the reasons I think the videos are doing well is because I am genuinely having a really good time playing with it, and people have responded to that. People can see that I'm enjoying it. They're seeing the fun side of it. It's not all serious, let's make farms, let's do this, let's do that. There's a massively fun aspect to it. There's adventures, there's silliness, there's me dying quite regularly. There's pranks going on with other people's bases. We're doing collaborations with other people. We're having just a really good time. There's a really good mix of fun and games, and then actually building stuff as well. So we have got farms, we've got iron farms, we've got wither farms, we've got guardian farms, we've got all sorts of stuff going on there, but we're all still managing to find the time to actually have the fun part of it as well. We're not just all gone and built these farms. We're actually enjoying playing with each other. And I think that's the key to this. Because we're all stuck on these islands, we are forced to be close to each other. We're seeing each other. Even if we're not directly in a voice chat with somebody or collaborating with somebody, you're building and someone else is there as well. It's a really good sense of community, and it almost forces you to want to play with each other more. And you see somebody's there while you're recording, you think, oh, I'm just going to get them in voice chat now and you know, talk to them about it or have some fun with them. And it's just really, really good fun. That's obviously reflecting onto the audience. The audience is growing. The Discord behind it, I think, has got about 300 or 400 members on it now. There's even like a, you know, how Hermit's Craft's got the recap, which LoyXP does, and now obviously he's a member on Truly Bedrock. Somebody else has come along and they've decided to do like a similar thing. It's called Truly Bedrock Rundown, and they've done a very similar thing where they basically take clips of all of our videos and show what they do. And it's just really, really good fun. There's a really good atmosphere about it. There's no nastiness. There's no snidiness. It's very lighthearted and it's really, really good fun. So yeah, I'm really, really happy with it. The downside of it is taking over my channel, which is probably a little bit upsetting to people like my patrons or my members of my other realms, because they are effectively paying me to play with me on my other realms and my servers, and I'm just not there, and I'm not finding time to be there, which I feel really guilty about. I did put out a post on Discord the other day to my VIPs explaining why I haven't been spending time on those other realms, and that I was sorry. And I did say to them, look guys, I completely appreciate it. If you want to cancel your patrons, you can still have access to all of the stuff. You can still be VIPs, you can still play on the servers, but at the moment Truly Bedrock is going to get my focus for the reasons I've already discussed. My Bedrock Edition realm has got a bit stale because it's coming towards the end and we're literally just waiting for a reset. Java Edition hasn't performed very well. It's got very bad feedback. It's not been very good at all, really. We had a great time with the Mad Fisher, but then that disappeared. So that's been a bit of a punch to the guts, really. I put a lot of effort into making those videos. I was really enjoying it, and it just didn't perform very well. So yeah, the fact that I've now got one that I'm actually genuinely looking forward to recording the next video, really genuinely looking forward to playing and having a great time playing, and it's doing so well, and it's been received really well, and people are commenting saying, make more of these videos because they're really good. Of course, that's where my focus is going to be. Of course it is. At the end of the day, I'm only human, and I like the fact that people enjoy watching what I'm putting out there, and I like the fact that people comment and say they're enjoying watching what I'm putting out there. Yeah, it gives me a bit of a big head, of course it does, but who doesn't want to have a big head? Who doesn't want a little bit of their ego being, you know, boosted? It's lovely. It's really nice to get that feedback. So of course, while that's happening, while I'm getting good feedback and while I'm enjoying it, that's where the focus is gonna be. I don't want Java to disappear. I do want to start streaming on there again, but right now, sitting here today, I was thinking I could do a live stream tonight, but then I thought, but I've got nothing to stream. I've got no interest in being on that world right now because of the fact that it doesn't get a response, because there's not really a great deal going on there, because everybody else playing on there has kind of disappeared because I have. I really want to stream Truly Bedrock, and I feel like if I stream Truly Bedrock, I'm going to be really sort of rubbing it in the faces that I've told people, oh yeah, I'm going to stream Java Edition and that's going to be my platform for streaming. But I don't know, I feel really bad, but I really enjoyed it and I'm really happy with what I built on there, but there's no draw to come back there. There's no desire to come back there, and I feel really bad saying that, but that's just how I feel. I can't help that. It's a little bit like the Who Killed Steve things. Now, I really, really liked making the Who Killed Steve episodes, and the reason I haven't made the third one is genuinely because I haven't managed to get time to do it yet. But the other reason behind it, there is another reason behind it, and it's a strong reason, and that's because, yet again, those videos get almost no response or views on my channel. People don't watch my videos for me to do storylines or make movies or do things else. They watch to see me doing silly Let's Play videos and see me making farms and things like that. That's who my core audience is. If I put out content that doesn't match what they're expecting, they don't watch it. And that's just one of those things. That's a fact of life. So, yeah, Who Killed Steve, I really, really enjoyed making. And I have recorded the third episode. I just haven't edited it yet. I want to put it out there, but I almost feel like if I do, it's a waste of time because no one's going to watch it. So, yeah, there will be a handful of hardcore fans that do watch it. But the majority of my viewers, these thousands of viewers that are watching Truly Bedrock, they're not going to be even remotely interested. Even I've spoken to people about my Christmas special, the one I put tons and tons of time in, which for me, I couldn't understand why nobody else would want to see it because it's genuinely really, really good. And they're like, no, I've not watched it. It doesn't interest me. It's not what I come to your channel for, which I understand. I do understand. And what I need to do as a content creator is be more aware of what people want and expect from me and spend less time experimenting and putting out other things that just don't fit on my channel, I suppose. Anyway, I've been rambling on about this for a little bit too long. Basically, Truly Bedrock for me at the moment is growing my channel massively. There's all pros to it. There's no cons for playing on it. I'm getting more viewers, I'm getting more subscribers, I'm having more fun, I'm enjoying playing Minecraft. Yeah, I just love it. So the final thing we're going to talk about today is obviously Foxy's in the Java edition of Minecraft, and hopefully they'll be coming to Bedrock edition soon too, but for right now, the only time we've seen them is in the latest snapshot of Java edition, and we have seen what they are and what they're going to become. And they've pretty much done all the work that there is to do on these guys by the looks of things. They work, the AI works, they're doing what they should be doing. There's only a couple of little features that they've said are going to be there that are missing. And yeah, I think they're a really good addition to the game. Obviously, I'm going to say that because my character's a fox. I do like foxes in real life. I think foxes are a really nice animal. But I know also foxes get a lot of hate. I know foxes are despised by farmers and people like that because they kill livestock. But at the end of the day, a fox is a wild animal living out in the wild. It needs to eat like any other wild animal in the world. Now, everybody gets up in arms when you get hunters going out there killing tigers or panthers or jaguars or other sort of predators that go around killing things. Fortunately for us in Britain at least, and probably America as well, there aren't really many big wild animals roaming around killing things. Maybe in parts of America you've got bears and things like that, but on the most part it's the rodents that get the flack. The raccoons and the foxes and the rats and things like that, they get a lot of flack. Now, I've had rats as pets. Rats are lovely creatures. They're very intelligent. They have a lot of fun. They like to play, but they get a lot of stick because they're dirty and they're full of germs and they bite and they're nasty and they run into your house when you don't want them. They're not. They're just creatures like anything else. Any wild creature is going to have some people disliking them. And I think foxes get a particularly bad amount of press. And obviously, in Britain, we had fox hunting for many, many years, and it was a sport, and it was disgusting. It was one of the most horrendous sports to ever be, to basically set a pack of wild dogs onto a lonely creature and chase it until it's so exhausted it can't possibly run anymore, and then basically either shoot it or let the dogs tear it to shreds. It's horrendous. It's absolutely disgusting that is, people even still want to do that. And farmers and fox hunters justify it by saying, oh yes, but that fox ate all of my chickens or it killed my sheep. Look, you live in a country where foxes live. Build a fence, put up a bigger wall. You know, there's loads of easy ways you could stop those foxes getting into your animals, but instead you just think, nah, it's all right, I'll kill it. We'll shoot it, which is fine. Okay, give it a nice humane death. Shoot the annoying fox. Great. Okay. Well, I don't mean that. I don't mean great at all. But at least there are ways of deal with it. But don't hunt it for sport and make it suffer a torturous death just because it might kill a couple of your chickens. That's not fair. That's not fun at all. I think anybody that enjoys fox hunting or thinks fox hunting is an okay thing to do should be hunted themselves and then ripped to shreds by a pack of wild dogs. And that's genuinely my belief. I think there's no excuse for that sort of attitude in this day and age. Now, that might go against a lot of my viewers' points of views. I don't care if it does, but that's my view on that. And that's a very, very strong view I have on that. Now, I don't really normally get very political in my podcasts and in my videos, but this is a point where I think Mojang has made a little bit of a mistake. So they've added foxes in, and they've made them derpy, and they've made them cute, they've made them sleep under trees, and they've made them nocturnal, and I think it's really nice what they've done in that respect. But then they've also made them run away from wolves, and they've made wolves attack them, which basically has connotations of fox hunting. All a player has to do is have a pack of tamed dogs, and they can then effectively set those dogs onto these foxes, and they can create fox hunts. Then you're going to get players dressing up as fox hunters, riding on horses with their tamed dogs, chasing foxes. I think it's the fact that that's now possible to do in the game. I think that's wrong. I don't think Mojang should have allowed that to be a thing. They should not have made foxes and wolves enemies, because it's not fair. Yeah, the foxes are probably going to win because they're faster than wolves, but that's not the point. The fact that they are effectively promoting fox hunting in an influential kids game is not, it doesn't sit well with me. Let's put it that way. I think it's a big political error that they've made, and I really hope that before the final release that they take that out, because there's no need for it. The other thing is they've made foxes very annoying in the way that dolphins are annoying. Dolphins in Minecraft, I've no idea why they've done this, but they make them play with your items. You drop your items in the water and basically the dolphins start messing about with them, which is fine because the dolphins, they only sort of knock them about, but it does become an annoyance when you're trying to build in water. With foxes, they've actually made them pick your items up and run off with them. And because foxes can't be tamed, and because they're a bit skittish around players, once it's, let's say you drop a diamond on the floor, or you die. Let's say you die, a creeper blows up and you die, and all your stuff's on the floor, your diamond pickaxe or some emeralds you had in your pocket or something like that, and it's in a taiga biome and there's a group of foxes there, they're going to come along, nick your stuff, and you can't get it back. How do you get it back? So they've intentionally made foxes annoying in the game. They obviously can jump really high. They can jump over a 3-block high wall and kill your chickens. They can kill your sheep. They've made foxes a nuisance. And I think it's a really bad political move to make, because foxes in real life are not nuisances. They're only a nuisance to a very small minority of people, i.e. farmers. Otherwise, foxes mind their own business. Yeah, they scavenge and they go through bins and things like that, but so do homeless people. You know, what's the difference? They're a hungry wild animal. They're so beautiful and they're so loving and they're so caring, and they're another animal that just likes to play and have fun. They're like a dog. People love dogs. Why can't they love foxes? So yeah, I really like the fact that they're added into the game. I think the fact that they've made them cute and fluffy and stuff like that is really good. But I'm really worried about the fact that they're making foxes an annoyance, and also they're effectively making it possible to do fox hunting in Minecraft, which I don't think's good. They might as well start adding elephants and giraffes in there and give us rifles so we can go and shoot them, as far as I'm concerned, because it's the same connotation, in my book anyway. The other thing that they've done, which I think is quite nice, you can't make a fox your pet, but I believe if you breed them using berries, the child fox or the baby fox won't be scared of you anymore. Now, apparently that's in the changelog, but it doesn't look like it actually works in game. I've not tested it myself, but normal wild adult foxes will run away from the player unless you're sneaking. I believe the baby ones that you've created won't. I think they'll allow you to come up to them a little bit like a pet, but not a pet. So it's a tricky one. On one hand, they made them cute and cuddly. On the other hand, they've made them a nuisance and easily huntable. So you can then make your own minds up on that, I guess. Anyway, before I go, I'd like to say again, as usual, if you want to get hold of me, if you've got any questions for me, you can get me on Twitter at FoxyNoTail, or you can join my Discord. Details for that are on my website, which is FoxyNoTail.com. I do have a YouTube channel, which is youtube.com/FoxyNoTail, and you can also support me and support this podcast via Patreon, which is patreon.com/FoxyNoTail. My plans for next week are, it's going to be half-term, actually, February half-term, which means my kids are off school. Now, Jack is going to be with his mum at his mum's house for half-term, but Oliver is going to be with me. So me and Oliver are going to have the whole week to basically just play. So we're going to go out, we're going to go on adventures, we're going to go in lots of places. The downside is for my YouTube channel, when I've got my kids with me, I don't like recording. I don't like doing recording when they're here. So I'll probably be playing in the background, but not actually recording any videos. The good news is I have pre-recorded a bunch of videos, so I'm not going to be lacking content next week. I'll also be playing truly Bedrock in the background, and hopefully a week after next I will be starting doing streams again. I know I keep saying it, I really do want to do it. I do enjoy streaming. I just need to get my head back into the frame of mind where I can start doing it again now that I've got more time to do it. Anyway, if you've got any ideas for what we should talk about in the next podcast, I am all ears. Again, either tweet me or let me know in the Discord. And for now, here's something to think about. What do you think of the addition of foxes in Minecraft? Do you agree that they have made a mistake in making them huntable and in making them steal your items? Or do you think that just adds to their level of cuteness? Let me know what you think. I look forward to hearing from you. But for now, I've been FoxyNoTail. This has been my Minecraft Let's Talk podcast. And I hope I'll see you all in the next one. Bye!